Time for relationships.
I'm Amy Zerner.
And I'm Monte Farber.
It's just a very charged subject. When you talk about love, right? It's like poetry, Valentine's Day, but it's so much more than that.
It sure is. Relationships are everything because you have relationships with everybody you know, including your pets, your boss, your co-workers. And relationships is something Amy and I know a lot about because we've been together since 1975.
That's right, and we really love each other.
Yes, we do. We do, and we're not just saying that. And all our books are sort of the flowers that have grown out of our relationship. And when we wrote The Soulmate Path, which is the story of our relationship, we met at the filming of a porno movie, by the way. It's all in here. Yes, we did. In 1974, yeah, I was playing music in the band that got hired for the rooftop party scene. But when we sat down to write this book, because our friends got a publishing company called Wisers, and they said, you know, it's time for your relationship secrets to be put in a book. And we said, we don't have any relationship secrets. And they said, well, you better get some. And so we both went into different rooms and started writing. And we both came up with the same thing, which is put your relationship first. And this is ahead of everything. And we've talked to a lot of people that have children. Even the children want you to put your relationship first because they want to be part of a stable relationship. And I'm telling you, put your relationship first. Right, Amy?
That's right. And our book, The Soulmate Path, there's one fun story. Well, there's a lot of fun stories, but Monte dreamt about me when he was 14 years old.
I sure did. And I came into the room where my father was reading the paper. My father was a tough New York City police sergeant back in the days when they were really tough. And I said, I just dreamed of the woman I loved. And he was like, what do you know about love? Or words to that effect. But now I know a lot about love. And when you love someone, you just want to watch them live. You want to support them in their living and in doing what they want to do. You don't want to change anybody. Speaking of the police, one day I was with my father's friends. I was 7 years old. And I was at the precinct where I used to play, very safe place to play in Prospect Park. And I walked up to them because they were talking about something, one of their cases, God knows what they did. And I said, are you ever afraid of anything? And this big Irish cop picks me up and he goes, domestic dispute. He says, I hear that come over the radio and I unsnapped my gun. And I got to the house and she's being bounced off the wall, so I get a little rough. And next thing you know, I have a steak knife in me buttocks. This is what he said. He said, and then he said words that I have never forgotten. He said, Monte, these women marry guys thinking they're going to change them. You can't change anyone. It's hard enough to change yourself. And that changed my life, those words, because whether he knew it or not, that's really important.
Also, it all comes from within us. We love to blame other people that this isn't working or that's not working or they don't understand. But I think, and we write a lot about this in our books, that once you come to terms inside of yourself, balancing the male-female, dealing with your own dragons. Other people didn't create those dragons of jealousy, hate, anger, whatever those things. They get bigger, they're fueled and made bigger if you start to blame other people, right?
Right, 100% right. You know, to me, the male role is written on the side of every Los Angeles police car. It says to serve and protect. And when you're with someone, I might be going to undermine my astrology counseling business, but if you have to ask someone else, is this person the one? They're not the one.
Well, we don't want to answer that question today. Let's fine tune these questions, and we're going to answer questions about your children, about your boss, business is all about relationships.
This is true, but I do want to say one thing in terms of relationships, or in terms of if you're looking to find the one, because you can find the one. We even have an oracle built into the Soulmate Path to help you find.
I'm going to use that oracle to help answer questions today. But what I mean is, don't ask, am I going to meet the one? Say, what can I do to meet the one?
Right, because
let's fine tune it.
You want to magnetize you want to be yourself so much. You want to be the person that the person you're looking for is looking for. That sounds like a lot of words, but you want to magnetize that person to yourself, so you have to be the right person. And you know, there's an ancient expression, when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Yeah.
So when you're ready for the partner that you want, that partner will appear. Life is magical, and it works on a scientific basis. As in my book, the Quantum Affirmations book, we talk about how you can change your reality. Get into the probable future where that partner is. So let's do it.
I think all of our things are about actually doing things and taking steps to magnetize what you want. And also we want to help you understand what's going on with the other person. And I think the tarot cards and our oracle cards are great for asking questions like, how does that person see me? Or what can I do to help them understand me better?
Right.
I mean, let's get to the real shit.
Because remember what that big cop said to me. He said, it's hard enough to change yourself. It's hard, but it's not impossible. And the only person you can change is yourself. So that's what all of our books are about. Even our new one, Astrology for Wellness. It's all about changing yourself, because when you do that, you change your future.
That's right. Do we have some questions, Lindsay?
We do.
Okay.
Beth is our first question. She said she would love some insight on her marriage.
Okay.
Maybe.
Well,
That's a little bit general, but let's see what's going on.
Yeah, because, and this can be done by you at home if you have the Enchanted Tarot.
I got the High Priestess.
Well, the High Priestess is the card in the tarot that says you don't really have to be hands-on, because she knows it should happen. She gets into her spiritual vision, very quantum affirmation. She knows it's supposed to be, and she makes that, she gets to the reality she wants to get to.
Okay, so I opened the oracle that's in our soulmate path, and I get the affirmation, I am patient. So it's very important for you to be both realistic and patient during the sustained effort needed to bring your desire for more love into reality. So I think you know, because you got the High Priestess, what's going on, and patience is your key word.
And the High Priestess is, in my opinion, the most powerful card in the tarot.
He should listen to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Elizabeth says, where does jealousy come from?
Wow, what a great question.
Jealousy comes from fear, because it's just like the patriarchy trying to keep women down. They wanted to make sure that their children are their children, but it comes down to an ownership thing. I mean, if you really want the person that you're with to be happy, it's that old, if you love somebody, set them free. I think jealousy is fear, and it's fear of that you're not enough.
And it really, it's like that old adage about holding a hot coal, it only hurts you. You know, anger's like holding a hot coal. I think jealousy's like that too. It really, you might think you're throwing darts at the other person, or, you know, you're secretly thinking these things, but it really only hurts you. All these negative emotions in the end can turn to poison.
I think one of the reasons Amy and I met each other is one of the things that we share as an attitude is that we always felt like if someone didn't want to be with us, okay, you know, moveon.org. So
I got the transformation card for your asking about jealousy, and I think, you know, it's got to come down to low self-esteem, right? That person has what you want, you don't think you can have that kind of thing.
Well, there's different kinds of jealousy. If you're trying to deal with someone who's jealous of you and is trying to control you, that's one kind of jealousy. If you're jealous of someone else, that you can control by waking up, and you'll never get what someone else has that you're jealous of, because you'll always be afraid that other people then are going to be looking at you the way you're looking at them.
And maybe if we're talking about relationships, that person has such a great relationship and I don't, or my sister has a better relationship with my mother than me. Those are kind of jealous situations, right?
Right, and so a lot of it comes down to bravery, and you have to be brave. There's going to be people who are going to be jealous of. When Amy and I talk about a relationship, we understand that there's people that don't have that kind of relationship, because most people don't. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't be sharing this with you at this time and risking the fact that there's going to be people that are jealous of us. Once again, it comes down to bravery versus fear. You got to put it out there. You got to be true to yourself.
It's hard to do something if someone's jealous, you know, because it is kind of a Scorpio hidden kind of thing.
And if they're jealous and controlling, that's abuse. You know, if you're with someone who's really jealous of you, who's trying to control your time, and you know.
It's funny how you see it different than me. I just see it like a catty thing. You see it like.
Well, because I do readings for people. I'm so aware of abuse.
I know. That's the extreme. There's like you said, there's a spectrum.
Right. There's a bell curve of, it's like in every astrological aspect, every astrological placement, there's its positive and there's its negative. Neptune is a wonderful, idealistic thing, but if you can't handle the fact that that ideal world doesn't exist, then you get into escape through drugs and drinking, and you know it rules all
I
that
guess
stuff.
jealousy could be a motivating kind of energy.
Well, yeah, I
A
guess
little
it can.
drop of it.
Right. I guess I'm just Aquarian extreme. Sorry.
Sharon said, which relationship should I put as my main priority to work on any problems for the remainder of her solar return? Her daughter, herself, her husband, her brother,
Oh wow.
sisters, cousin.
Let's see if the cards can.
Well, I know the answer to that one. No matter what the cards say, it's well, the lovers is a choice. So you have a choosing between what you have and what you.
I don't know why she has to choose.
Well, also put your relationship first. You know, I can't stress that high enough.
But she's thinking, is it the relationship with her husband? Or
Yes. Yeah. Look, the relationship with your closest partner is the one that you have to focus on all the time.
And then it spreads good
Right.
things to all the other ones.
Because not only does you know what roll downhill, but good things roll. Water flows downhill as well.
Okay. Sorry, 1 second. Ted says, almost 30 years married and the spark is gone. Help.
I don't know what to say about that. You
I
know,
mean, it's funny. I was just reading one of those superficial articles about the spark going out. They said young people, the spark goes out after a month now.
well, there's a difference between the spark going out and the drug endorphin going out. You know, if the spark comes from meeting a new person, then it's always going to go out. But if you're committed to being a better person or expanding your relationship, and you find someone to partner up with, then the spark doesn't go out, because it depends on the spark you're looking for. If you're looking for the spark of a relationship of
He said
growth,
he's been with 30 years.
well, we've been longer than that. The spark hasn't gone
That's
out.
right. Don't make him jealous now.
I don't.
Okay,
we
here's
get in trouble no matter what we do.
Okay, the oracle in our book says, you and your lover must demonstrate to each other that you are capable of giving and receiving unconditional love. Now, unconditional love, that's a big word.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's.
Well, you
it's,
wrote it.
Well, what do I know? No, it's the ideal, of course.
So it says, I deserve, this is the affirmation, I deserve to feel safe and nurtured because I give loving care and acceptance to those I cherish. So maybe you're not getting back what you give.
Yeah, and you know, getting back to move on, at a certain point, if it's not really working and you've tried everything and the person has hit the, you know, if you don't grow together, you grow apart.
That's right.
And at a certain point, you got to just like cut your losses. But I'm not knowing you in the whole situation, I can't say, well, walk away.
Okay.
You got to give it a try, of course. That's a lot of work.
I think you have tried a lot.
Well, maybe it is time to put down that heavy burden.
It's hard. That's
Yeah,
hard.
yes.
We're not laughing to make light of it.
Right,
We're laughing
exactly.
because life is like that.
Right. And let's face it, we know that life is delicate. Today is a day with snowy roads. You know, you got to drive really carefully. You got to approach everything as it's delicate and very impermanent, and do your best to make things as permanent as you can. But of course, reality trumps everything.
So people always say you got to work on it, right? We think that means you got to work on yourself.
Yes, because I don't think we've ever worked on our relationship. When people say that, that's like the difference between soulmates and twin flames. I don't get it. It's called a soulmate path. I know about soulmates. I don't know about twin flames. All I know is this is my girl.
That's right. But I think you work on it like you work on a work of art that's evolving to make it beautiful and harmonious. That's what I think art. Some people have a different impression of art.
I have no...
They want a confrontational art.
She is a genius artist. So if she talks about art, I have nothing to say, because whatever she says goes, as far as I'm concerned. About a lot of things.
So we have Teresa. She's in a tough situation right now.
Okay.
She's in a 15-year unmarried, no kids relationship. Been through a lot of ups and downs. And a week ago, her partner asked her for a friendly split and to move out. She wants to know if this is permanent, or if it's going to be something that's a phase, or what her next move
It's
should
funny because I get the playful card. It sounds like an intense time for you and a difficult time, but this reading gives joy, exhilaration, and skills gleaned from play that can help you solve your problems. So that could even mean, you know, asking the tarot, playing with the tarot, playing with an oracle.
I mean, it's hard not to treat that as an insulting situation.
Maybe it's just playing, toying like lion with a mask.
Well, I mean, as long as Amy and I have been together, if either one of us did that, I don't think there'd be much question about, you know, walking away from something like that. Because if you love somebody, you don't screw around with them. Nobody likes feeling screwed around with. And 15 years is a long time. Now, that's approximately getting into, well, this says you're going to get your wish.
I think this goes along with this. It's like a good thing. Whatever's going on there is a good thing. This is the wish card, you know.
Wish granted in a happy way.
Maybe he made the move, but you had it. You were also thinking about it.
And
as usual, we like feedback on these. You know,
Yeah.
we're flying here and tuning in, but we don't really know everything that goes on. So
right, and here we are doing Facebook Live, but 14, 15 years is what in astrology is the Saturn opposition, because Saturn takes 28 years to go around the solar system approximately. So you could be, and when Saturn opposes its place where it was when you guys met, that's the test. So this could be the test, but if you're around 40 years old or around 50 years old, you could also be getting either Uranus opposition or the Chiron return. And sometimes Uranus will bust apart things if you have not made your life a statement of freedom and originality.
bringing newness in some other way. Maybe,
Right.
maybe that goes back to the play answer.
Yeah, because the midlife crisis, which happens, Uranus takes 80 years, so 40 years it's here. So approximately. So it could be, you know, plus or minus 4 years either way. That's the time when people get the motorcycles and the midlife crisis red whatever, and they quit their job and they go out with younger people, you know. So not knowing all that stuff, but it's all possible. So, but Amy got great cards for you. So whether it's annoying or not, it seems like it's going to work out. How it works out, I don't know.
Nanette wants to know if she should put energy towards looking for a romantic relationship, or if she should not waste the time and energy and work on other things.
Okay, put it towards a new relationship.
Yeah, I got a pretty decent answer in my head.
It might be someone that you've been with before.
Wow, because this card, which is
Judgment.
Judgment, is the next to the last card of the major arcana, and that is something that has been dormant, rises up again. It's like the soul's all being judged on Judgment Day. So, wow. I also felt that you should actually be actively looking. You got the warrior, and the warriors...
Aggressive.
Yeah, warriors don't hang around waiting, you know. They're not like firemen waiting for a fire. Warriors go out there.
Because you said bravery.
Yes.
True love requires bravery. Without it, love is slavery. Fulfill your needs, speak honestly. Direct and forceful you must be. Challenge life with open arms. Fear not losing love's sweet charms. Go for it.
Yeah, that's what I
So
said.
Monte wrote these poems on the cards
I did.
for love and relationships.
Right.
So Lois says she's about giving up on finding her special Valentine. Maybe we could give her a card that lets her know what to do.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Well.
don't give up. According to
New beginning.
Yeah, the Ace of Wands is breakthrough, new beginning, it's hot stuff in the old town tonight. So, you know, the thing, once again, we come back to when the student is ready, the teacher appears. When you magnetize yourself to the level and the frequency of the person that you're looking for, they come to you. And magic happens.
We always say, you know, people come to Monte for readings all the time, and sometimes you want something so badly it like creates a barrier. As soon as you give up, then it happens. You see that with people trying to get pregnant.
Yeah.
Anyhow, now you've made the decision to almost let go. So why don't you let it go, and then maybe that's a new approach. If you can really let it go, you can't pretend to let it go.
Right, and we know lots of people that have had magical happenings, and some of them you would think they wouldn't be with someone else.
Or people meeting people in their 80s. Or,
Yes,
I mean,
it happens all the time. And you could be that person. I'm not saying you're in your 80s, but if you are, you know, it doesn't.
Bonnie's just asking for a message
Okay.
for her.
About relationships.
Yes,
That's what we're
only
doing.
About
relationships
relationships.
today.
Right.
Ooh.
Oh my God. Arrows of love. This is what you want. This is like telling someone you love them, and they tell you they love you.
Hearing something soon, good news about relationships, somebody writing unexpectedly, you know, something out of the blue, sort of.
And remember, it's always possible that magic can happen. And this could be, if you have been thinking about telling someone that you care about them, tell them. because this is all about communication.
By the way, I'm using our Enchanted Tarot 25th Anniversary Edition.
So did I.
And we encourage people to learn to read the tarot, and we make it easy, and to do your own readings and
That's
check
right.
in with the cards.
Eliminate the middle gypsy. You can do it yourself.
We have Kelly, and she said she hates her relationship with her job and would love a new job and career.
Okay.
She said, do you see me making a change, and in what direction?
Okay. Okay. Well,
So you're creative. I get the Be Creative card. I mean, it's an oracle. It's not a card, but you open the book to that page.
I got the future. Expect the unexpected to occur. Be alert for new opportunities to come to you in unusual ways. So, using my quantum affirmations technique, you would see yourself getting a new job.
That you love. You love the people. You're shaking hands. You're smiling.
But you also see the negatives that would come with it because you want to understand that it's real. So it would be the problems of leaving your old job, the sorrows associated with leaving the people.
The
I'm sure
anxiety.
yeah.
But I just want to stress that this is about exploring your creative talents. Creativity is equal parts intelligent, intuition, and heroism. Intelligence lets you examine and understand the problem. Intuition comes as insightful solutions, and heroism girds you to implement your idea. So I think that's what you desire, is a more creative job.
More creative job. And the negatives would be the natural problems, leaving one place and going to the next. You'll miss
That's
some
what he's
people.
talking about in his quantum affirmation. You have to
Right.
see
Yeah,
all the good and the difficulties.
We've done a lot of different oracles, and they're all designed to help you get in touch with what you feel about what you're asking about.
To peel the onion, so to speak.
Right, and to once you are clear about what you want, it makes it a lot easier to get what you want. So that's what all our books are for.
That's right, and to make better decisions along the way.
Right.
That's what the oracles can help you with.
So we have Sky, and she wants to know how she can make her already wonderful relationship even stronger.
Oh, what a nice question.
Wow.
Well, the High Priestess again turned up.
So it's praying. It's
Spirituality.
yeah. It sounds like it's going to happen naturally. It's going to unfold naturally, beautifully. But it says you don't have to do anything.
Be receptive.
Because in that card, she has her one hand behind her crown chakra and the other behind her base chakra, because she just works her Kundalini energy, and it happens. The warrior keeps coming up.
I shuffle.
Yeah, I keep coming back.
Sometimes you have to be a warrior to be receptive.
Yeah.
To stop yourself from thinking you have to make everything happen, right?
And the first rule of warfare, according to Colonel Clausewitz, which they still study in the war colleges, is make your base secure.
And the base is your relationship.
But the base is you. I mean, if you look at our Amy and our charts individually, we shouldn't be married to anyone, let alone married to each other. So this business, when people say, well, I'm an Aquarius, does that work? Does this sign work? No, it's all individual. When you meet the right person, that stuff doesn't matter. And you don't need astrology to know it's the right person. It helps, but...
Well, it's all about, we're talking about love. Your heart speaks, right?
You just like to watch the person live, When I first met Amy, I would talk to her over the telephone or whatever, and it just changed. It changes reality. When you're with the right person, reality is different when you're with them than when you're with other people.
I think you can use that same kind of analogy with your work. If your work isn't making you happy, if your work isn't something that you are passionate about.
Right. Not that we all have not done work that we're not passionate about, because you got to make a living. Right. It's basically being realistic and brave to deal with it, even when it's not the way you want it to be. Because, face it, things are never 100% the way you want it to be, ever.
It's mystical realism.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. Get the domain name.
Lisa wants a message of how she can help her son.
Oh, how sweet. He has to get justice.
Justice is about balance.
It could also be dealing with the government, because justice,
some legal
dealing with
kind
the
of thing.
courts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and helping your son to, I guess, establish balance in a balanced diet. I mean, you can apply balance and the balanced scales of justice.
That's why we like more specific questions. But I also think it's like the more balanced she is, the more she'll help her son.
Right.
The more peace.
Yeah.
And justice that you feel. You know, if we're all, how can we help someone else if we're off balance?
What we're trying to show you here is the basics, but it really comes alive, just like clothing. When Amy makes clothes for Bergdorf Goodman, the clothes come alive when someone wears them.
Yes.
Our oracles and our divination systems come alive when you read it, because you know your situation and you're going to apply what's in this book to your situation. Then the answers will make a lot more sense, and they'll be very specific because you know your situation.
That's why we like to demonstrate for you, but really it's most powerful when you read for yourself.
Right.
Because I like getting reading from someone else. It's fun.
No, of course it is fun, but and
I get to ask him all the time.
But I get to do readings for the person. I'm talking to that one person. I can say, well, you know, this could mean a whole bunch of things, but what is your situation? Knowing the ancients also had another question. The ancients apparently were busy writing a lot of stuff. If you know your question, you know your answer. And I think they meant if you drill down to the essence of the question you're asking, it's going to get you very close to your answer.
There's an art to really finding out what you want and defining it. And because so many people, it's like, oh, well, how can I get more money? Or how can I meet someone? Are they thinking about what that person is going to mean in their life, or what they're going to do with that money?
Yeah, there's a difference between the casual question and a life answer. But once again, when you bring that question with sincerity to any one of our oracles, or including my karma cards, which I just happen to have here, you know, we've done a lot of books and they're still in the stores. You know, that came out in 19...
We make them for us because they help us so much.
It's really the early computer, you know, we like karma cards we did without computers. This is all about getting in touch with what you feel about your experience, and it's like having a trusted friend because it's you.
It's like a mirror, reflects back your feelings and helps you look at it from a little higher perspective.
Right, and if you don't trust yourself, I have to write a book for you on that one.
Forgive me, I'm gonna mispronounce this name. Maria she just said old boyfriend from 1983 with question mark. Something that's a yes no situation.
That's so crazy. I actually got a positive feeling, which I can't believe. But it says be intuitive.
It's so funny. It says there will be times in your life, especially your love life, when you will have to make a split-second decision.
That's true.
I would write back, right?
Yeah,
what your gut said right at that second when you heard from that person?
When I first met Amy, and on our first we were double dating, she was with someone else, and we were at a Patti Smith concert at the Roosevelt Hotel in New York City. It's all in the book. And she...
It is. It's right there.
No, it is. It's right there. So there it was. I was with her friend who was sick of me. I was sick of her. And Amy was with this guy who was sort of height challenged, and we were at this really crowded Patti Smith concert at the Roosevelt Hotel, and he got claustrophobia and ran out of the place. And Amy, being a tough New York chick that she was at the time, stormed out because, you know, the guy was messing with her, and proceeded to walk from 42nd Street all the way up Madison Avenue at night in the dark, when in the 70s. And something made me leave my date.
A split-second decision.
A split second. That's actually the chapter.
Yes.
That's so weird. And because the book talks about stuff that we learned from a relationship. I ran after her, and she turned around to like clock me because she heard my big feet running after her up Madison Avenue, and there was no one else on the street. I mean,
can't overanalyze in those.
I didn't even think about it. Something said, you know, this is run after her, and I did. And that's it.
Anyhow,
45
let us
years
know what
later,
happened.
It worked out really well.
Melissa says, after 33 years of marriage, how do we keep the spark alive? We don't have that much in common anymore.
Wow.
Well, you know,
it's interesting.
If that's the case, I don't know what to tell you. You
know, in groups, sometimes I'm just going off on a tangent.
Shuffle those cards.
I did. This is justice that just came up for another person.
Well, it
but we
could
find
be
that happens in groups, right?
Yes, it does.
That
And
might be a legal.
divorce, but it could also be, I don't know what to say. Justice, once again, is the balance scale, so that's Libra.
Do they want to know if they should go or stay?
Okay, go or stay. Let's ask that.
Ooh,
This says
I
fight.
think you're going to stay.
Really?
But I mean, we're going to fight about this.
That's right, because this means courage. And
I
coming.
think it means she's going to stand up and fight it out.
Well, yeah, this definitely means come
Bravery.
out from behind your wall and make your stand.
We know if people say the spark went out, that means what? Fighting, not talking, blaming. Those
Right.
kind of. It's not just like.
No, it's not just like, oh my God, look at that person, they don't look good. That's not what it's about.
So either stand up for what you believe and need. That's the bravery card, or
Right.
write that justice contract to get out of it.
I mean, I don't know what to say. If I knew you personally, if I was doing a reading for you, you would know. But once again,
By the way, he does private reading.
I do private readings.
MonteFarber.com.
Yeah, MonteFarber.com. You can set up a time. I'm pretty good actually. When are we going to do the drawing?
Soon.
Okay.
Do we have a lot of questions? Okay, let's.
Oh, we have a lot of questions, and we're having fun today, and it's a subject we know a lot
Well,
about.
the spirit of love.
Yes.
Yes,
The
it's the
spirit of love. I feel bad if people say the spark went out, and I think sometimes that means you have to ignite a different spark in you, and definitely not blame the other person. Right.
Right.
It's so easy to do that. Everyone wants to blame other people for everything these days.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's true.
So we have Cindy. She says her husband of 37 years and her are experiencing a season of physical pain. They're drained of energy.
Oh,
Is there
no.
something we can do to lift one another up?
Oh, what?
Aww.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
So you both want to be going through it together and just help each other. That's so nice. Well, this says guard your energies, your money, and
I would
And
say
he's
she takes the lead.
yeah, because the Queen of Pentacles, it's all about Earth, so it's your body.
Practical.
It's
Practical steps.
Astrology for wellness.
Bless you. Nice.
That must be true, right?
Yeah.
What they say.
Lindsay sneezed, so it must be true. So, but it means be practical, guard your energies, guard your money, be very conservative with your stuff.
And you take the lead.
Right.
We have Laura Lee, who's a widow. She would enjoy someone to share her life with again. What might help her to move in that direction?
Okay.
Okay.
Laura Lee. This is your affirmation, Laura Lee. I am content as I experience the ups and downs of everyday life from my spiritual center. So anything you can do to nurture your spiritual center.
Or maybe you should go to a spiritual center or a place
Good idea.
where there are people, like-minded people. And I say this to people all the time. If you don't go out of your house, the only people that you have a chance of having a relationship with is the UPS guy, the post person, the FedEx person. You know what I mean? You got to get out there. They used to have an expression for the New York State lottery. You got to be in it to win it. So you got to get into this. I'm not saying you're not. Once again, we don't know. But if you're going to the spiritual center or places that are
That's
spiritual.
right. And I think that even if you meet people there, it doesn't mean they have to be the one. But
Right.
this is going to stimulate new relationships and new ways of improving yourself and sharing that with other people.
And keep in mind, Amy and I were not looking for anybody when we found each other. I don't necessarily think it's a good, I mean, it's all personal, but if you want to be like, who's the one, and you meet someone, you go out with them and you're like talking about getting married and having kids right away, I personally think you're going to put somebody off like that. But who knows? Maybe you're going to find someone who wants to hear
It's
that.
strengthening your own core, and that becomes like a magnet. I think, in readings that can definitely be dangerous if you say, I see a dark-haired guy coming in.
Oh.
Then you're looking for the dark-haired guy everywhere, it's like becomes kind of spooky, right?
Yes, and that's another thing. It's like, what does he look like? You tell me.
But he doesn't have to look a certain way.
Right.
People think they're affirming or visualizing, he has to be 6 feet tall and have blonde hair.
And you don't have to be 6 feet tall or blonde hair if you're whatever. Because we know people who you would not think would have great relationships because of appearances or whatever, and they do. So it's all individual. That's the thing about astrology. Everyone has a chart and it's all individual, but some people are working their chart differently than others.
And sometimes you have to go through different relationships to learn more about yourself, you know, as you're growing up, or, you know, as sometimes it doesn't work out, right? When you move on. It's interesting, no mothers have asked about their children.
I already had that.
We had one. I thought.
We did have one, yeah. How could she help her son?
We had jobs. We had
how do I help my son?
happy or not happy marriages.
Lisa says, love you as a couple. Any support to magnetize a joyful relationship is appreciated.
Okay. That's a good way to word it.
Yeah.
How to magnetize.
As long as you're repeating what I said, I love what you said.
Oh, now, hello. This is the Queen of Pentacles that came up for the last person.
So it's to be practical, guard your money.
Feel like a queen.
Yeah. And she like makes sure everyone has what they need when they need it.
Okay, let me see. She's very social also, that Queen of Pentacles, that crazy Queen of Pentacles.
And that really is the way life works to a degree. You have to be brave enough to be different sometimes.
Oh, I like that. Okay, to attract, nurture, and protect love in your life, prepare a comforting cup of clove tea. This is the enchantment. We have little spells for each card.
Each of the 78 cards. She wrote 78 enchantments. The woman is amazing.
I like these little spells. Feel the beauty of the miracle that is your body, of the earth that is your home, and know that you are secure. You're fertile, meaning creative, always able to create love and good fortune. And as you sip the tea, remember someone or think of someone with whom you can share these riches. That's a nice ritual, right?
Yeah.
So it is about visualizing, but she can do it, this queen.
As long as you're careful and brave and you have to protect yourself because this is a crazy world for sure. I'm not saying just go out and be with the first person you see.
But it's also feeling deserving, which that enters into a lot of these things, feeling you deserve a better job, more wealth, more...
Yeah.
And it's something to, I think you do though, because you got the queen.
Right. Queen of Pentacles is a good card.
We have Trish, who says, any kindness, love, or happiness in her future.
Well, I hear yes psychically.
It
sounds like you've had a rough time. This is the sacrifice card that came up. And it's not, I'm not saying that there's going to be love, happiness, whatever if you sacrifice. I think it's describing why you're asking the question.
Yes, you've been some tears and sadness, and that you've given up certain things in your life.
I think I dreamed of that card last night. The image, which Amy put it away, but the image is of a woman crying tears into ice water. So it represents you've given and given and given and you haven't gotten back that which you think you deserve, which does happen. It happens to everybody. Not necessarily us in our relationship, but we have, it's life, right?
And here's your affirmation from the Soulmate Path. I forgive myself and everyone else with compassion for our human frailties. So make sure you forgive yourself for what you've gone through.
Right. It wasn't your fault.
Susan says she's anticipating a really sweet question to be asked of me on Valentine's Day. This is the fella you told me was coming. Any impressions on this exciting new possibility?
Well, look at my face. That's the happiest card in the tarot, the sun.
We'll take credit for this happen.
Yeah, of course. And I haven't mentioned Valentine's Day because we don't want to date this tape, but we're deep into it enough to where I can tell you that on Valentine's Day, the planet Mars and Uranus are going to be conjunct. And as I said last night on Facebook, expect a lot of those kind of sudden out of the blue proposals. So that might actually happen, especially with this card.
The sun is like happiness and good things and things that make you feel good and radiate. Yay!
Yeah, let us know, by the way, if it happens. We love feedback. Even if it's, you said this, but this way we learn. That's how you learn.
Stina wants to know what she can do to positively impact interactions between herself and her ex.
Good question.
Wow.
Okay.
And you want to?
Here's the affirmation. I'm content as I experience the ups and downs of everyday life from my spiritual center. This came up before for someone. So I think you really have to have a spiritual approach, meaning don't lower your vibration to any bullshit.
Right. I mean, there's a few things that Amy and I know real because we're experiencing it, and there's a few things that we sort of think we know. We don't know about exes. We're the first person we've ever been with. And we don't know about children because we never had children.
But
we did have our nephews living next door, so we know that. But we don't know what it's like 100%, right?
But some people do have a good relationship with their exes. She
do.
Sounds like she wants to try to go that route.
Those are people that usually share children, and they have to calm down. But look, people are crazy. There's no two ways about it. And if you're dealing with someone who's crazy, they're crazy. So you got to treat them like they're crazy. If he's not or she's not crazy, then you can basically be yourself and have faith.
So I got the truth card. Tell the truth, but listen to when others tell the truth to you. Works both ways, right? The gift truth brings to those who care the special trust that soulmates share. If one you love tells you a lie, give one more chance and say goodbye. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe that's why you're exes.
Yeah.
Anyhow, the truth is always a good way to go.
That's the way yeah, unless you're dealing with a crazy person, in which case, don't tell the truth and just get out of there.
Yvette says she's been a fan of you guys for 30 years.
Oh, thank you.
She's been in a relationship for 37 years and it's dissolving fast. Is there any hope for her in the future?
There's a lot of that going on. I don't know if it's just because we're offered to do relationships, but yeah, I think we've heard about other situations.
Oh, that's true.
There's a lot of stress on relationships now.
Right.
So what does she want to know about her marriage?
Is there hope for her in the future? Like,
well, there's hope for you,
with this relationship or not.
Oh, you mean in keeping it together? Okay. Well, this says breakthrough.
That's a new beginning.
Yeah, it can be a new beginning. It can be piercing the veil of illusion. You know,
this can be like a re-energizing kind of situation. I know. I mean, I can't imagine 37 years is so long to dissolve.
As you can see in this book, you see those dark sections, that's a whole oracle section. But I'm going to do something that's called bibliomancy, where you just pick a page at random and see what it says. The courage to be childless by choice. We chose to be childless because we knew that fulfilling our mission in life would have little time for a child's many important needs. So, assuming that you have children, or even if you don't, perhaps the childlike joy is not there, or children are affecting the thing negatively.
It's definitely a new beginning. You know,
or the person's acting like a child.
Well, sometimes when it comes to this crisis point, it's like a make or break. Either, I mean, we see addiction problems, if people hitting bottom, if a relationship is hitting bottom, then it calls for therapy, it calls for drastic.
100%. And, the questions people are asking are great. I wish we could answer them if we knew you.
This is like the real stuff. It's intense, right? It's not the airy-fairy, oh, your soulmate's coming around the corner.
Right. Well, that's why we're doing this longer than we've ever done a Facebook Live, because relationships...
How do you know? What time is it?
I have my internal clock. There you have Aries in action.
Are we going too long?
Well, it's up to you guys. You want to do a couple more?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, how long have we been doing it?
43 minutes.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. How could I doubt?
You have to be able to say you're right, and you have to be able to say you're wrong, and you have to be able to hear you're right, and you have to be able to hear you're wrong. That's an important part of relationships.
That's right.
But if you love each other, it all works out, right?
It's like the pearl and the oyster.
Right. Sometimes you need some sand to annoy you, and your butt crack.
It's so irritating.
You know how.
About that. Martha wants to know if her current boyfriend is the one. If so, Emily, take the next step.
Oh my God.
Oh God. See the one. Did we
That's
say we didn't want that?
Yeah, we said if you have to ask.
Maybe you weren't tuning in then.
Yeah, right. You may be tuned in afterwards. If you have to ask, really?
Are you ready for this answer? It's either one. It's
I don't
written.
know.
It's not written.
We're putting it back on you because
it's a choice.
It's the choice between what you have and what you see.
That's why she asked, right? She's not sure.
Yeah. If you're not sure, you're not sure, right?
But it's a good card. It's romantic.
It's important.
There might be a next step.
Explore your options.
It's plenty of bad cards. They didn't come up. The lovers. It's not bad.
No.
So Joe wants to know what he is missing in order to help him move ahead in his relationship.
I'm so glad a guy is watching this.
I like that. What's he missing in order for it to move ahead?
Wow, what a great
It's like
question.
a puzzle, piece of the puzzle.
I have a feeling you're not missing very much. Means reward. So either you're a reward for this person, the person's a reward for you,
Also,
or you're not
maybe
keeping
you
your
think
eye
you
on the
need more money.
finances. Yeah.
you need more money for the next step. This
Yeah.
is the big money card.
We used to say it's the gold card, but the gold card doesn't mean anything anymore. That shows you how long we've been doing this. Now it's the black card or the platinum card.
You
or
know, financial
Titanium.
problems are such a big issue in relationships.
which we haven't really addressed, but a couple of people got the Queen of Pentacles, which is all about watching your finances. But that's actually the big money card in the
You
tarot.
might be setting yourself up like, when I reach this goal, then I can go to the next step with the relationship, right?
Or
Let us know. if
it can be a lot of things. It can be, do I have enough money for a relationship? Because, you know, things cost money, practical stuff. It's important. Buy our books so we can keep doing these things.
Mhm. Forgot to add, right?
Yeah.
Deborah wants to know if her and Tom will finally get married this year.
That would be a good one to end on.
If they get married this year, 2019.
Truth.
High Priestess.
The High
I
Priestess.
think our peeps are very spiritual.
They are. I think you're gonna, and I heard it psychically in
I
my
think
head
you
as
know
well.
you're gonna.
Cool.
It's all about knowing.
So now should we do the reading,
Yes.
not the reading, the drawing? And since we don't trust ourselves, Lindsay has to pick
We
it.
just had a contest. The people that brought
Yes.
Little Relationships and the Soulmate Path, either or, from our website. We got a very nice response.
We did.
And you get to win. The winner gets this beautiful sterling silver 2 of Hearts necklace.
Sterling silver. I mean, you know, that's
This
not
not,
so-
we didn't cheap out.
No, we didn't give you the Woods medal thing.
Okay, let's
So,
see. Okay.
Lindsay is from Price Waterhouse.
Natural
Drum roll.
Witch.
Natural Witch.
That's her name. Congratulations, Natural Witch. I'm going to email you and send you your necklace.
Yeah, but we have to know who you are. So we
know
can...
her. I know who she is.
Oh,
She's an
excuse
Instagram
me.
friend.
Oh, excuse-
Natural Witch and me.
Okay.
Hello.
Oh, wait a minute. Is the fix in? Send your complaints to the Federal
They
Communications
were
Commission.
all our regular followers.
Oh, that's
They were
great.
so nice. And thank you for your support of all of our things.
Yes, we know that a lot of people have a lot of our stuff. You got to forgive us for asking people to buy the books because it's important to the new people
Look,
that
if
are
we
just
don't
coming.
ask, who else is going to ask?
That's true. If I'm not for me, who am I for?
So
if
my
not
path,
now, when?
Enchanted Tarot, Astrology for Wellness,
Oh my God, it's a party. All the different books.
Little Reminders.
And you can buy them on our Instagram page, right, for Enchanted World Books. If you go to Enchanted World Books Instagram
It's all
page,
set up. Yeah.
it's all set up thanks to Lindsay. You can push on the book, right, and you can buy it.
And I guess we'll do another contest soon.
If you buy it from us, we can autograph it.